All right, and welcome everyone to this week on Magnet Marketers, where our goal is to help you become a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. I'm one of your hosts here, Jessica Phillips with Now Marketing Group and Relationship Marketing System. Our goal is to help you grow a repeat referral business by building relationships with your ideal audience. And my awesome co-host, Mike Gingrich, with president of Digital Hill, and also the co-founder of TabSite, a popular contest and app site that you can use for many different fashions. And you'll also hear him and find him on the popular app and podcast, Halftime Mike podcast. So welcome, Mike. How are you?
Yes. Thank you, Jessica. I'm doing well.
Good. I'm excited to be back this week, although I watched your guys' replay and it was awesome. Lots of good digital knowledge. You had some guests that popped in, which was really cool.
We did. We kind of mixed it up a little bit there. It happened
good.
that, so I was, interviewing Liz Ajan from London on social media tools, and it happened that one of her users was on, and so we brought that person in, and we had someone else from another tool. Jenny was able to talk about Agorapulse. So, yeah, we got some good information, got some good interaction out there.
Awesome. Yeah, and it was a good time at Disney being back. Learned a lot of things about marketing. I had my marketing brain on at Disney, but it was good stuff. So, but happy to be back and dive in this week on buying love. Why you can't buy love. Why it's not okay to purchase email and SEO. So email lists, I should say, and SEO or fans.
Yep.
And what
followers, all the above. Yeah.
All the above. You just can't buy love. I guess that's a easiest way of summing it up. But it's kind of hard when you get these emails in, and clients forward emails to us all the time. They're like, hey, what's this guy talking about? And it's this nicely written email that's talking about how they can grow their SEO and get them to the front page of Google. And if they only pay $100, a month, then they'll magically just appear poof on the front page of Google. Or the other emails that come in that, hey, we'll sell you 12,000 email addresses, valid emails that are all really interested in your service, and just buy this and the emails will be yours and you'll get rich kind of thing.
Yep.
So do you run into this with your clients?
Oh yeah. We get those. And the one that I'm getting hit a lot on Instagram for that right now too. So on Instagram, I'm getting followed by or comments by, these businesses. They want you to come over there and, hey, we'll help you get followers on Instagram. And so I'm getting a lot of those. Definitely still getting hit up on Facebook, on my Facebook page, that says, hey, we can do this for you. We can get you some more likes and some different things like that. So it just continues to be out there and pretty widespread. There's always a smattering that is still trying to do it on Twitter as well.
I was just going to bring that one up.
Yeah. So basically, they're trying to, they fish these things. It's kind of like the old game, which is still, it just started longer ago, and you still see it, but it's that whole domain phishing kind of things. Like, hey, we're from XYZ company. We can help, renew your domain. Do I need to renew my, you get that from clients. Do I need to renew? What's up? What's wrong with my domain? And fine print is they're just trying to transfer it to, or they want you to buy 5 different Chinese extensions because someone in China supposedly tried to get you.
I've had that one too. All of the above. And then I've even heard the Google listings. They'll call your office and they say, oh, this is Google listings. You need to verify your business. They call our office all the time. And it's like 2 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, we do internet marketing. I know our Google listing is verified. I'm not paying you to verify my listing, but basically this, just to kick this off, what we're talking about is a lot of these things are scams. But let's kind of break down why you don't want to fall for these traps and what kinds of things to look out for and how it could harm or damage your business and your reputation.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go into Facebook first because that's the one where I spend most time and dive into that a lot. And so obviously, as a business, you want to have a Facebook page. And you want to have a Facebook page because Facebook is the most dominant social media platform, across the U.S., across Europe. And it has the dominant of time spent on the site. That's just incredible. So, and businesses say, oh, it looks bad if I have 500 fans. I'd rather have, 6,500 fans, that type of thing. And so you have these schemes that say, we'll get you 10,000 fans. So, multiple things wrong with that. And first and foremost is that it'll hurt you later on, because you can't advertise very well with a bunch of fake fans, because first and foremost, Facebook asks you, if you want to advertise to your fans, and you would probably like to, because you want, if you have a relevant fan base, there might be something that you want to amplify to them. And if 20% of them are real and 80% of them are fake, then that's a lot of wasted money right there. Yep. Okay, so that one's a key. And the second thing is that Facebook's actually come out and they can begin to sniff these things out. They can sniff out fake accounts and do these kind of things. And so, if you're a local business that's based in Central Ohio, and what's it going to do for you to have 7,000 fans in Pakistan? It's just not going to be. It's not relevant. It's not helpful. Yeah. But Facebook can actually go in there and now begin to kind of sniff those out. If they're fake accounts, they will close those accounts down, so you can lose those. So again, just kind of wasted money. So,
and that's a telltale. You're getting told on right there, especially you
yep,
know.
Yep. Yeah, and again, if somebody sees something and they want to click through, they look at your fans, they can see, this is a Central Ohio business with a ton of fans in Pakistan. What's the connection there? But more so than just appearance, it basically it's limiting you. So there's just like your ads, you can't do that anymore. Obviously that's going to hurt your engagement. There's not going to be any natural engagement there. Those types of pieces. So that's just a starting point. I'll let you add to the Facebook one if you had, or if you want to go into the next one.
No, you hit all good points with the Facebook, buying the followers there. I mean, a lot of businesses, it is hard to earn those audience, members and the fans and the likes, but you want to earn them, because if you purchase them, like you said, you're not going to be able to advertise to them. 1, 2, it's going to look off. And I think it would be more embarrassing for a company that is purchasing those and then loses them, or someone, sees that, than just earning them naturally like everyone else has done. And if they're a good, credible business, you're going to grow those fans naturally anyway. I've seen it where clients can go from 0 to 1,000 in a 30-day time period if they're a larger company, or take a little bit of time, but you definitely don't want to purchase those. But you've seen that a lot. I think there was site Fiverr where you purchased all these fans for $5, and it would be, they said real fans, real Facebook people. Well, it's just them with, different photos in each one. And it's the same person that has 60 accounts that they're logging in and out of and liking, or whatever bot that used to do it. So definitely stay away from purchasing Facebook fans, because it's going to hurt you down the road, like you said. Now, the second biggest one that I see this on is Twitter. Same thing, purchasing the Twitter followers. And there's actually a link if you want to know if any of your fans are fake. I think there's a couple of them out here. I think there's one called fakefollowers.com. But it'll tell you some of those accounts. But you can do a Twitter audit on your own account and see if you have any fake followers on there. But same thing, advertising, to your fans, like you had mentioned, it's going to hurt you there. 2, people look for that. I know I've talked to other people. They're like, oh, all their fans are fake. You don't want them to talk about someone in that light, or your business being called out in that light. It just looks bad, versus you just earning the followers there as well by providing value. Because 2, if you're getting all these fake followers on, what's the chances their account's going to get hacked, and then also, come over to your account next because you're connected with them, or if they're part of some kind of activity that's going on and you're aligned with them, that's not going to look very good on your business.
Right. Lots of problems there. So, and then with, it's just not really, what's the appearance that it does any benefit for Instagram? I mean, that's just, it kind of breaks all the rules of social of, that's coming from engagements. So, you're commenting, so someone wants to come back and follow you, that type of thing. There's no, you can't necessarily, they're not going to be, if you have fake followers on Instagram, it's not doing your company any benefit marketing wise, because you're sharing a picture going to nothingness kind of thing. And again, someone can come and take a look at your account and kind of go down through those, and they could begin to see some weird or even just some unique characters which aren't true Instagram followers. And so it's just not a path that is something that you want to follow. And it just can damage things. It can damage your reputation, but it can also damage your ability to market, to advertise, like I said, on Facebook. And there's just some keys there. So yeah, glad to have a question here. You want to dive into that one there?
Sure. No, but yeah, we should probably answer this. Some signs of fake followers, because you may be getting fake followers you didn't even know. You weren't purchasing them. You weren't trying to go for them. You just started getting some fake followers, maybe because you already have a larger profile on social media. So what are some signs of fake profiles or fake followers? Maybe that you would recognize, Mike. I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, I think that we've had experience with this a little bit from the Facebook contest side. So with TabSite, the people running contests always want to verify that these are true users, that type of thing. So I think some of the things that go into fake profiles, again, if we go over there and it's a profile, but maybe it's only got 5 posts kind of thing. So we can begin to see some pieces there, or we can link through, we can look at their friends, and suddenly you see a little circle here of things. So, they've got a circle of fake profiles that are only connected to each other. And maybe you're going to start seeing the same posts, same pictures. So they're trying to be fast and efficient when they get these things up. And so they're using some of the same materials to try to do that quickly. So, looking for things like that. And again, particularly if it's way out of context, again, that example that we're a Central Ohio, B2C serving our local community, we're probably not going to have or need to have a large fan base that is international. And so, you want to take a look at those. Now, there's some hotbeds of places too. We've seen a lot of fake profiles and things that are connected to India, to Pakistan, and to some of the Central African nations. So, I don't have a big fan base in Nigeria. And so that's one of those things that when we see those pieces, you want to raise some caution flags there.
Yeah. And the activity, they usually don't have activity on there. That's the first thing I look for, and if they do have activity, is any of their friends engaging with it, because if they're a real profile, they're going to have some of that engagement. But we've looked for that stuff.
Yes. Now, well, Facebook has a verified account type option now. Then, so that is, to do some things on Facebook, you have to kind of go through that verification process, and so that's another marker that is beginning to help on Facebook and alleviate some of those pieces.
That's good. That's a good point. Yeah, definitely.
Fake profiles, again, I would add to that, like on Twitter, it's massive amounts of auto DMs kind of thing, so there can be people that set up their own DMs, but if you're getting a series of those and it's DMs, again, I don't dominantly communicate with people on Twitter via DM. So if someone's only trying to DM me kind of thing, then, I begin to take a look at that in a little deeper way as well.
Yeah. DM stands for direct muted. Mute you. I don't want to cutting it off. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, now it's now if we want to switch to email, I say that's the real dangerous one there.
That's the one that so many people fall for, that and letters too. But we'll start with email. Yeah.
Yep. So, because let's say you're using a service, whether you have something that's going to deploy the emails. Let's just take MailChimp as an example. Then, so you've got a list in MailChimp, and you're thinking, oh wow, this would be a great way that it says there for my kind of target audience, and it's only going to cost me $100, and I can get these 3,000 more email addresses, and so if you try to load that up, there's a few things. So MailChimp's going to try to evaluate that list, and they're looking for some cues, some keys in that. They're going to ask you where that list came from. But even if you get through all those kind of initial hoops, if you try to send that, it has a high bounce rate, they will shut you down in midstream, and they will lock your account, and you will not be able to send to any of your good addresses. So that's the biggest danger with the email list, is that you're going to need to try to get them into your email system, which a lot of those are very good now at detection methods. Where did this come from? How did it get here? That type of thing. But even if you deploy it, they can lock it down, and again, you might never get that account back open again, and that's a real danger for email marketing.
You are right on it, especially if you're trying to, and if you're not using a third-party tool. I've seen this too, where somebody's sending out a bunch of messages just from their normal, email subscriber that they're using. So their tool like Gmail or Hotmail or Outlook or whatever, and they're copying everyone under the sun on this message. You can get flagged that way too. But if you are, so if you think you can purchase that list and get around it by just not going through a third-party tool, that's incorrect as well, because the actual email servers are monitoring it. And the CAN-SPAM Act that was passed, this was more than 5 years ago, I want to say, but it's been updated since, says that you are not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to unsolicit emails. Now, how a lot of people get around with that, and that's when you subscribe for something, be careful so your name or email address is not put into one of those, is that when you subscribe for something, maybe you're subscribing to be a part of a newsletter, and it'll say down there, we are also, sharing this with our affiliates. They have to disclose that, right, whether or not that they're a part of a circulation of shared pool of email addresses or not. So that's how sometimes they'll share and try to get away from it, but do not purchase it, like you just said, because 1, you're going to get blocked. 2, you're annoying someone. I mean, unless they're asking to hear from you or have some kind of context on who you are, why would you want to have that as your first means of contact with them? Instead of offering something of value and reaching them the right way. I mean, think about yourself. Like when you get an email that's unsolicited and, they're trying to sell you, your immediate reaction is delete, or flag, or, you get annoyed.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. And I think that, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think the same, applies to your SEO as well, because there would be you get those kind of phishing emails or the black hat SEOs who say they want to promise you certain things, and again, you don't want to do that, because anything that is an attempt there is going to be to try to game the system, to game the search algorithms. And you're putting yourself at odds with Google, by doing that, because Google is trying to determine and give the best honest result for quality material for a search that somebody puts in their search query. And so they're always trying to monitor their search algorithm to try to weed these things out. And again, if you let somebody do something to your website, that's allowing them, some back-end access, number 1, and it's allowing them some dangerous access to do things which can damage you, that your site could get blacklisted. I mean, that it can actually have the exact opposite effect of, jumping you to the forefront. So just, let me say it here. There is no magic pill. There's no, holy grail that can get you to number 1 on Google without you putting in the work, the quality effort that you need to. It's just not possible. Google is smart enough, and we all should be smart enough to realize that they're gonna search out those who are trying to game the system and find ways to block them and hinder them and long-term hurt them, while elevating those who are doing the hard work and providing great content.
Yeah. And can you explain to maybe someone that doesn't know what is blacklisted, just so they know what blacklisted is?
Yes. Okay. So, blacklist, you think about this happens most frequently kind of in the email realm. Okay. So where you're, your domain name can get added to a list. And so these lists are kind of a global universal lists that are vetting whether a address is valid or whether it's been deemed to be negative for some reason, so that they will basically, if your domain is blacklisted, people cannot send email to you. They cannot get the email from you, so that you're on these universal ban lists basically. And so that can happen in multiple ways. I mean, so if somebody injects something into your site, Google would actually do that to your site. But particularly you see that a lot with email.
Yeah, you do see that a lot with email. We've even had clients because they've had their email hacked and they got on a blacklist, and this can happen to anyone. If you did accidentally get hacked and it wasn't because you purchased something or whatever, then you would need to go through hoops, honestly, to get it to become unblacklisted. And it sometimes will take, it could take a couple weeks. I mean, or, sometimes 24 or 48 hours if you're lucky and get to talk to the right person. But so you don't want to put yourself at any risk to get that, to happen to you. But if it does, there's ways of trying to fix it. You can check Google Webmasters to check to see if there's been, suspicious activity on your site and your website health. And I did want to mention, you were talking about, filtering it out. There's actually services now. I actually just used one because I get so much junk mail sent to me, solicitation emails that I don't want to read. I don't even want to spend time deleting it. And now there's systems out there. I just downloaded one called SaneBox that you just put it on your email and it takes them all out. It was beautiful. I went from like 32,000 emails because I, didn't feel like deleting them all. I get them all the time to 800, and it was Christmas for my inbox. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of these systems out there. So, but once you're filtered, it's going to be hard for you to get back into that person's email box. And if so if you're sending these emails and you're purchasing these lists and then you get filtered, it's going to be really hard for you to bring back that reputation and that relationship with someone unless you just started off on the right foot in the first place and started building a good relationship with them from the beginning. Same thing if they're going to your website the very first time, like you had mentioned, Mike, and it's blacklisted, or you're getting redirected to a bank, site when you're not a bank site.
Yep.
Like that can happen to you if you give people access, then they're not going to have a good view on your business or your website.
Right.
Yeah, you see that quite a bit. The domain one, the email list where, people are purchasing that, the SEO. And I would say that's the one that most people usually I've seen fall for is that SEO.
Yep.
And if it was that good, everybody would be doing it. Especially at some of the rates they said they would do it for.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. But it's kind of like, it's like gambling is, in many regards. And that is, it's a get rich quick scheme, but how much are you going to lose in the process? And, but some of these have some long lasting effects. I mean, because with the buying lists and trying to use that, I mean, you can get shut down from your email marketing service. And, if actually, I mean, Facebook it's against the terms of service to try to buy likes like that and to try to get fake fans. So they're trying to scour for that. So that could you could ultimately get a page shut down. And a lot of other social media network services are like that as well. And it can just hurt you long term when you're trying to do something legitimate, like advertising on Facebook and trying to advertise, to an audience. You can't advertise to your fans if you know that you bought a bunch of them, because they're not quality, they're not targeted, they're not the right type of people interested in your service.
Yeah, and those are good points. Just getting shut down, and it's not just that service. If your email's set up and it's put on the spam list, you're not going to be able to just go over to another mail service and use it. You're like locked out. You're sending snail mail, my friend. Like you're shut down. But there are some legitimate things that you can do to grow your email list, to grow your search engine optimization, to grow your fans on Facebook. Maybe talk about a few of those legitimate things that you can do too. So, we've said you can't buy it. It does not work. There's dangers to it. And I shared a link here on some of the dangers, the other dangers. I mean, we talked on a lot of them, but it gives links to, go back and reference some of them. Share one more link on here. That you can reference, but maybe some of the legitimate things that you can do to grow it the right way. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's a quick synopsis. Basically, if you're putting out good content on your website, so your blog, so you're getting out some regular posts, which are quality resources that are relevant to your market, to your industry. Okay, so and you're thinking about some keyword phrases that are important and that people might be searching for, and you're using those. So you're getting a footprint up out online that is valuable. That's going to help you in a SEO realm to be found. Okay, and then let's just tie that in. So that gives you something quality to share on your social media. All right, so you can share about your latest post out on social media. You can engage with some people there. Hopefully some see that, they want to interact with that. They might have some comments. You begin to interact with them. They obviously become fans. They might share that. Other people of theirs become fans. But ultimately, people click through in those links. They come back to your website. So on your website, then you want to have a lead capture, a soft opt-in type of tool there. And that is, maybe it's an ebook or another type of resource with some type of quick capture of, name and email address, and they will get this resource. So by signing up for your weekly email that goes out, they will get this free resource. And so that way you are growing your list by offering them something of value. And that's the full cycle right there. Now they're on your email list legitimately, and you can email to them. And that's a quick synopsis of the digital funnel.
Yeah, and if you're doing what you say and you're adding value, you're sending it to someone that's going to find value in that, and then share it on with other people and engage. So you can grow your list a lot faster that way by just doing it right, by adding value in. You can do some other things on social, like running a contest to grow your page. You can invite your own friends to get started on it. You can ask others to invite others to your page if you feel like they're going to be a good fit, and just engage with other brand pages to get them to, their followers to engage with you. There's lots of organic ways of growing your reach without purchasing the fans and at risk of damaging your reputation and just your ability to play in the sandbox, so to speak. Overall.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a good topic. That the answer is no, don't do it. Don't fall for those things. You're going to get reached out to by that. That's just, fishers and spammers, and you don't want to do that. You want to do it the right way. And that's with some quality content, some engagement, some lead capture, soft opt-in tools on your website, and then some legitimate email marketing through that growth of your email list.
Yeah, and it's an ongoing thing. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to be willing to, it's not a campaign. It's a day-to-day thing that you're going to have to continue to be a part of your overall marketing mix. Is making sure you're consistent with your email and your social and your website. Blogging, all of those things in order to continue to grow it and see that growth naturally and organically. And that's going to be the stuff that sticks, and brings the results, because there's no sense, having 10,000 followers if none of them are buying from you, or engaging with you at all, like you said. But one thing I wanted to go back to, because we talked about that, at the beginning, was the domain one, because I feel like that's the one that people fall for, those letters. Just to touch on that, I know it's not, purchasing a lead or anything, but just to mention that, because I've actually last week had, one of the team members say that a client had, received one of those and was going to send in the check, and she just wanted to know which address she sent it to, because she knew it wasn't ours, but it does look legit, and they send it to client or, yourself, even if you have a domain registered somewhere and it says your domain's expiring, here's how much you need to send in to purchase your renewal of your domain. And it's not as clear saying that you are actually changing your domain company. So it's good to make sure that who is hosting your domain and who you purchase through, make sure you speak directly with them only when renewing it versus falling for one of those letters or phone calls even that come in.
Yep. Yeah, that's just a huge one, and you see it multiple ways. It comes from domain registry or whatever, but that's why you just need to know who did you register your domain with, and just know what that source is, and it's not going to change, those types of pieces.
Yeah, I wish they would make them have to send it in a different way, though. That company, because it is a domain registry. That's who it comes from usually, 9 times out of 10. But what can you do? People are relentless.
Yep. I feel like we need that song. It was at a 50s, 60s, Can't Buy Me Love, and we need that to, we need that to kind of wind down here. And yeah.
It was a good movie too. Well, anything else you want to add, Mike, before we wrap it up?
I think we've covered it. I think that you're going to see it across all those different platforms, and those are the dangers, folks. I mean, it's just a good way to cause yourself some more work. There's no shortcuts. There's no short term to these things, and you do need to watch out for if it looks too good to be true, it is, and you just need to just stop, step back. Ask someone else, reach out to us. We can evaluate those things in 5 seconds because we see them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to look at it for anyone. And now that you know this trick, that you can go to these sites and see if anybody has fake followers, happy hunting. See what's out there.
Yep.
In between the time. And next week, when we'll be back here at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be talking about how everything you know about marketing has changed, all the big changes that have happened in marketing over the years, and some of the staples that you need to know about, so you can succeed in becoming a magnet versus a bullhorn with your marketing ongoing. So the link is here on the sidebar. Please click subscribe, share it with your friends and your followers, and we'd love to see you back next week.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one. I think that it has changed, and just looking at diving in from a high level on what some of those key changes are.
Absolutely. All right, Mike, thanks so much. Good seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes. All right. Take care, folks. Later.
See ya.